This is a commander summary. In this episode, Yi Sun-sin. We'll go over his skills, his talents, we'll go over some reports and best cases for to use him, and best pairings to go with him. Without further ado, let's get started. First, we're going to go over his skills. His first skill is a wall of text, but for all intents and purposes, since we're talking about garrisons, we'll just focus on that second and third line. He deals a fan-shaped damage area, similar to pre-expertise YSG, and is reduced for each additional target, just like most AoEs are. It does inflict a speed reduction effect, which can come into play once in a while if you've got another AoE commander with him, but that doesn't do a whole lot in a garrison. His second skill gives 20% defense and 15% damage when attacked on a 10% chance. It's pretty impressive, and a 15% damage boost instead of an attack boost or a skill damage boost is nice. And I really, really like that. Third, we have a 30% increase of defense flat, and then when you get below 50% units, you deal 20% increased damage. So then when you get below 50% units, you're looking at 35% increased damage and an additional 50% health. Defense, I mean. So this is really, really useful for reducing damage. And in a garrison, your troops are always going to be kind of hanging around that 50% or below mark. And this is what makes him so great with Zenobia, because Zenobia gives 50% health, or is it 40%? She gives a large amount of health on her first skill. So the two of those together, between this defense bonus and that health bonus, really makes that march so tanky inside of a building. His fourth skill gives a 20% increased attack and a 10% chance to give a shield. But that's not too impressive. The real impressive thing is a 30% increased counterattack damage, which is really great against Swarm, because counterattacks are applied to everybody attacking. So that helps really boost and bolster your anti-swarm ability. His final skill, his expertise, is just a straight 20% and 20% attack and defense boost. But only when you have 2 or more unit types. So you have to use mixed troops. So in a case where you have a full infantry build, Flavius and Zenobia using Hold the Line, you can't use Yi Sun-sin with it, because they would literally depend on each other to not be true to be able to take benefit out of their main abilities. Next, we're on to talents. The talents are pretty straightforward. It's pretty much the exact same tree as Theodora. We want the reduced skill damage here, we want the health here, we want the reduced damage here, and we want the reduced skill damage here, and the defense boost here. So really, you're just more about reducing the damage incoming and using the numbers of your garrison to hit like a truck. Again, this is great against Swarm, because the less damage you take, the more damage you can dole out. And a 200,000 unit army attacking a garrison is going to take massive losses when they do that. Now, although I don't have any reports with Zenobia, because she's still in the process of being built at the time of this video, I use Theodora with YSS all the time, because it just bolsters that anti-swarm ability, and it helps make Theo a little tankier. And here's an exact example of why that's important. This is a case in one of the KvKs where they tried to manually swarm our fort, and just the sheer amount of damage she can do to swarming people is absolutely insane. And part of this is Yi Sun-sin, who provides all that extra tankiness and that AoE to help hit the swarmers as well. So he really shines when you don't have the field, or you know there's a risk of swarming. Yi Sun-sin is somebody you should definitely consider, because he makes it extremely painful to swarm. Lastly, we'll go over his typical commander pairings and equipment. Typically, you'll pair him with Zenobia as a really tanky mixed unit march, or Theo for the same purpose, But you could really get away with anybody. Jadwiga is a really popular one right now because as of the making of this video, there's no second cavalry garrison commander that can go with Jadwiga, so the most common is Yi Sun Sin for all those raw stats, as well as the fact that he helps that anti-swarm ability a little bit. But honestly, Yi Sun Sin could go with anybody if you really needed him to. The only people I really don't recommend is Flavius running the full infantry tree up to hold the line, and the same for if you're running that tree on Zenobia. Equipment wise, you want to stack defensive stats, defense health. You can stack a little bit of attack because you have so much health and defense from other stats. But with your KvK tech and with your normal tech from just leveling up to T5, you have so much attack from those stats that attack doesn't do a lot for you versus health or defense, even when you have so much extra defense and health from Yi Sun Sin's abilities. And this concludes our discussion on Yi Sun Sin. I hope this helped explain why he's so solid and such an integral part of the meta right now. If you like this video, give it a like so I know and I can keep making more of these videos. If you want to see more, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a future video. But as always, good luck, fight well, and I will see you on the battlefield.